Everything you desire exists as energy. The question is, are you a match for it? Today, we're not just talking about manifestation. We're tuning it, shifting it, and giving you tools to create more of what you desire. Welcome to Talking with Teri TV. I am your host, Teri Cardula, and thank you for joining us on this Entrepreneur Girlfriend Hour, along with our in-studio co-creators. We are Colorado's first transformational talk show where we activate, elevate, and transform. Those that are new to me, I've taken my 28 years of counseling experience, combined it with energy psychology, and then applied the principles of quantum physics to help us clear the blocks that are no longer serving us, that hold us back personally or professionally, so that we can step back into our purpose, our power, and our potency. This has been coming up a lot lately, and I am so blessed and excited because we have such amazing people in the room tonight. And the conversation is about how do we create more with more ease. The last episode that we had, we were talking all about how do we activate for those that do a vision board, for those that, are speaking life into their desires. How do we activate those kinds of tools, which was great. But let's take this a step further. Like, how do we start to activate and manifest more in our lives? And so this conversation started around the other day. I was being part of a video, and they're like, can we just come to you and we'll interview you from here? And I was like, twist my arm, make it easy for me, sure. So afterwards, we were sitting and talking, and one of the women said that she's pregnant. And I was like, oh, that's so exciting. And I said, set your intentions for how you want the delivery to go. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, I always told people that I was going to have a 3-hour delivery. And she goes, but everybody around me, if you can imagine, what do you think people said when I said, I'm going to have a 3-hour delivery? Just curious.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that, right? What else? What else do you think people said to me?
First baby?
First, you guys are so good, yes.
Mine took 24 hours.
Yes, exactly. And I said, but I was so determined that we're going to have a 3-hour delivery. I said, I'm just speaking in live. I was like, I'm like a baby when it comes to pain. I'm like, you know what? We're just going to have a 3-hour delivery, blah, 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 blah. So as I would go and tell people, would be like, oh no, 17 hours. I had to have like back labor and like this and like surgery and all the things. And I told him, I said, I was very kind and respectful, okay? And I said, and I would say to people I was going to have a 3-hour delivery, and they said, they would start to tell me a story, and they're like, do you want to hear my birth story? And I'm like, what? Was it under 3 hours? And they said, no. And I said, I don't want to hear it. And so I think sometimes we get to this place where we think we have to listen to everybody's stories. But what happens when we take on other people's stories is that we actually start to activate in our brains, and then we're like, oh yeah, remember that story, that 23-hour delivery? Oh my gosh, how did Gina ever do that? And then we start to even more funny. But so what happens is we start to pull into everybody else's stories, right? Instead of staying really laser focused. So I'm not going to share my birth story with you all, because we had such a fun time. I will tell you, the doctor was interesting. She's delivered thousands and thousands of babies, and she remembers 2 of the stories, and one of them was ours, because we kept laughing through things. And at one point, they came in because I didn't realize I was having 4 of the 5 symptoms for preeclampsia, which I am so grateful I didn't know what preeclampsia was, okay? Let me just say that. And at one point, the doctor comes in, gives me some drug that's supposed to put me to sleep, okay? But I was like so angst because I was like, we're hanging out, and I'm like, I'm ready to go. I'm like, I just need to get rid of this energy. And I told the nurses, I was like, hey, can I just go run like a mile, and then I'll be right back. I promise. Like, I'll be right back. I just need to get this excess energy out. And the nurse looked at my husband. She's like, is she being serious? And he's like, yeah, like dead serious. I'm like, I just have this energy. I gotta get it out. So anyways, so she's like, gives me a drug, and I was like, she comes back in to check on me, and she goes, oh my gosh, that's supposed to knock her out. And it didn't. And they're like, we'll have to go get another one. And I was like, I don't want more drugs for the baby. So then the door would open, and I'd be like, and then the door would shut, and my husband's like, she's gone. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, yes. And then we were like, continue talking. I'm like, okay, blah, 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 blah. And then the door, and we're like, and she's, oh, I'm glad it's working. And then I'm like, Oh my gosh, it's so working. Yes. Anyway, but we had such a fun time. And so why I'm telling the story is that, by the way, so the cliffhanger of this is we had a 2.5 hour delivery.
Wow.
We pushed for 20 minutes. And then I was like, in the 11th hour, because what happened, she was like, the first contraction we had, I said, she goes, oh, how was that contraction? I'm like, I didn't have a contraction. She goes, yes, you did. The little thingy, the little monitor shows you how to, I'm like, wow, that was a contraction. Let's go, because it's going to be easy, right? So I use that as my evidence that it's going to be easy. And we had such a fun time, push. And then she was like, 2 more pushes. And I'm like, if it's 2 more, I'm in. But if it's like more than that, I'm out. I'm just going to go take a nap. Anywho, but it was this conviction that I had convinced myself I was going to have a 2 or 3 hour delivery. And I had 9 months of people wanting to tell me their stories and 9 months of people going, that's not going to happen. It's your first one. And so how many of us have stories? What are we creating? And how many of us, when we speak them out loud, what happens? We have people that say, that's not going to happen, right? Back in the therapy world someone asked me, she was a psychologist. So imagine this. Psychologist goes, what's your big dreams? And I was like, oh. And I felt safe, fellow therapist kind of person. So I shared with her. And what happened was, she's like, that would never happen.
Oh, geez.
And she said, here's all my cards. Please refer your clients to me. And I went back to the office. I threw away all of her business cards except for one. And I kept one in my office. And that was my do not refer to list. Because if she was willing to destroy another colleague's dreams, could you imagine when a client came to her in closed doors in their most intimate settings, what would that do? I never referred to her, right? Do you want her name? Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't remember it anymore. Like that back then. I got rid of it. So when we start talking about manifesting and really creating, it's about holding this space, that this conviction that it's going to happen, we don't have any idea of how it's going to happen. And just like I call it living in Delulu land, and it's like living in this different reality of just knowing and trusting. Because if you think about it, there are some things that you just know. Has there ever been a time in your life where you're like, yes, this is going to happen. I don't know how or what or why. This car is going to come to me, or this opportunity. Can anyone share? I see a lot of heads nodding here. Nodding. Heads nodding. Woo!
Okay, so you taught me the 33-second manifestation,
yes.
And I just did it last week. I haven't done it in forever, and I didn't know what 2 jobs I would be getting because we did proposals for quite a few.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we got them both. It's amazing. I had one conversation with the client and her son on Saturday, and it was as smooth as silk. They were in before we got on the call. I did not know that. Usually it's share, talk, figure out this, that, the other. And they're like, yeah, okay. And I was just like, oh, it happened. So it's pretty amazing. But I've been able to manifest other things. Like I'll be somewhere and I'll be in a meeting and they'll have some drawing and I'm like, oh, that would be awesome to win. I win. And one of my friends said she's won vacations that way. I'm like, I need to try this bigger. But
I used to be the same way. I used to tell myself, what was that?
It works for parking spaces.
Oh my gosh, always.
I have luck with that. Although I do have a cute little Buddha and I rub his belly when I'm driving around Denver looking for parking.
When I tell myself all the time I would never win anything. So like when I go there, I'm like, I never win. And guess what? Never won. But then I was like, you know what? I always win. I always win. And so then I would leave. Sometimes I'd leave meetings early. And I'm like, oh, hey, Misha, here's my winning ticket. You can keep it. You're going to win, but you can keep it, okay? It's my gift to you because you're holding my winning ticket, right? Because I'm leaving early. And then she would win. And then she'd call me and say, hey, can I give this to you? I'm like, I told you I was going to win. You were going to win. And you're welcome to keep it. And but it just became this shift. And funny enough, I don't know if I've shared this story in here yet. A couple years ago, there's a networking group, and they do those wall of wine. And so the first time I didn't win, and then the second time I was like, they broke it up into 2 segments, and I was like, I'm gonna win. So I won, okay? So I won. And then the next year, I won again. The third year, I was conflicted because I was like, you know what? I don't know if I want to win because
Don't be selfish.
I love hosting, but I stopped drinking.
Oh,
So then I was like, I'm not going to drink this. So I'm like, but I love hosting. But I'm not drinking. So I was conflicted. The lady comes over to me and she goes, I said, I always win this. So I had made I said, you know what? I'm going to win this now because I like hosting. I always win this. And this lady next to me, she goes, you always win it. And she touched me and she goes like this. She touched me and I didn't even know it, but she won it. And I was like, she took away it. So now you got to protect, okay? You got to protect your energy because people will try to rub it off you. Okay, I'm just saying. Anywho. But when we're so convicted that it's going to happen, there's nothing that anyone can say or do, but how often are we staying in truth in that conviction? And so we're going to play with this idea of really staying true to trusting in it. So I'd like to hear from all of you. What's something that you would like to create, manifest, generate in your life or in your business? Go ahead and grab mic.
I think also when you're open to receiving, things come to you.
Yes.
And so an example I can share of that is I designed and put together an 8-hour VIP day. And frankly, the idea came from I modeled it to hers because it worked and it was a brilliant formula. Anyway,
Can you share what a VAP day is?
yes.
It's a very important
It's a very important person day.
I'm just kidding.
No, sorry. I should enunciate.
I was just half kidding, but yes. Okay.
Anyway, and then I was like, okay, so what is my next step? And then at a lunch with somebody on a very different topic, this came up and she was like, I want to be your first beta client. And I was like, oh, what do you, beta client? Of course you need a beta client. Why didn't I think of that? Anyway, so just the right people and the right opportunities just appear into your world when you are open to
Yeah.
receiving that.
Yeah. And you're speaking it out, right? When you
Yes.
have clarity as queen, when you have clarity and you're speaking this out and you're confident in it, opportunities, people, places, situations, like the most like magical, all of you know that I have an evidence journal and I always am writing down like these crazy experiences and I'm like, how did that all connect and collide in this moment? It's like pretty magical when we can start to unpack that. So good for you. I love that.
I'll just say that we did our VIP day and it was the smoothest day ever.
I love
Everything
it.
was just perfect. So,
And it's collapsing time too, right?
yes.
I started doing the VIP days because I was like, how do I collapse time? How do I do this more efficiently, more effectively, and be like, let's be one and done. Let's do it.
100%.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you're gonna say something, Jackie?
Oh, I was just gonna ask, did you visualize with like feelings about it? Like visualize what that day would look like or your client would look like? Because she talks a lot about manifestation.
Yeah.
I think for that particular one, the client just landed in my lap without me knowing
you.
that that's what
I'll
I
take more of
needed to
that.
do. I know. But then once we committed and we picked a date, so we met on a Wednesday for lunch and then we did this on Saturday. So I had 2 days to really wrap my head around this. It was quick, yes. And then I did do a lot of visualization of what do I want this to look like? How do I want her to feel? What am I accomplishing with her? That kind of thing. And yeah. And the testimonial that she wrote me is
Ah,
amazing.
Priceless.
Yeah. Thank you.
Love it. I love it. I love it.
I have one. So I'm manifesting this year. My business is organizing residential. We do lots of senior move management, which means helping with all of the logistics of going from a home that you've lived in for decades to a new senior community. I'm manifesting that I want to find by mid-year at least 5 communities that will reach out to us to have them move their clients. Not one, I want 5. Because why
Okay.
not?
Can I get some feedback?
Yes, of
Loving
course.
feedback. If I can tweak the verbiage of that.
Yeah.
So when I say I want is a lacking word and
Oh.
want is always going to lack.
Okay.
So if I can give feedback,
Yes, please.
I would either ask a generative question. A generative question will always add, so a generative question goes from, it helps the reticular activation system in the brain. And what that will do is help activate that, and then it starts to seek that out. So I would do, I wonder what it would take for me to have 5 or more clients. So write this down. I wonder what it would take for me to capture, close, and connect 5 additional clients or more, right? Why is it so easy for me to blank? Why is it so easy for me to create 5 incredibly happy clients that I can serve? Because what now happens, you've activated the brain, and the brain now, the reticular activation system is going to go find the evidence and support that. And now we just start speaking life into that and not getting, and blessing and releasing how they're going to show up. Okay, the how's not up to us. I usually like to light a candle and then blow it out and be like, okay, God, spirit, angel, whatever you believe in, go show me, go find me the clients, right? And then when they show up, simply say, thank you, I'll take more of this. And be in a place of gratitude when it shows up. Be in a place of gratitude before, during, and after it shows up. Because the more I can be in a place of, and again, the 33-second exercise for anyone, go check out one of the other episodes. We actually did it last episode. We sat and did it. I couldn't stand up. So it was like very restrictive. Like I was like, I couldn't stand up. But 33 seconds, you spend 33 seconds acting as if you've already achieved it and created it. So what would you do? You would probably celebrate and excite. You've seen me speak before, so you know it's mayhem, but it's really fun. But you step into the emotion of it. And the faster you step into the emotion as if you've already created it, the faster it will come to you. And it becomes really powerful, because really when we start talking about manifesting, and people say law of attraction attracts like, but if you dig deeper underneath the concept of law of attraction, it's quantum physics, it's energy, it's how energy attracts, how atoms attract to one another. And atoms are always connected to the frequency. So match the frequency and everything else falls into place.
Okay, I think I have my question.
Yes.
Why is it so easy for me to create 5 senior communities to call us to serve their new residents?
As if by magic. Just kidding.
That was wonderful.
Yes, I love it. Yes. Now, when you go into this, again, Trish, what if someone goes, oh, you can't do that. That's 5?
Why not?
Oh, why not? What's
Okay,
stopping me? I was at a friend's one-woman show the other day, and her dad always used to say the saying, who chiseled that over the door? And I love that. I'm like, who chiseled that over the door? I don't know. I'm assuming that's a rendition of, who made that up. And so it gives you permission to play in that place of space of, I wonder what we can create here. And then I get super curious, and I'm like, ooh, let's go see, okay? And so it might just be one thing after another that then starts to pull it together, and it just becomes really magical. Love it. All right, anything else? Anyone else that's coming up? Do you want to share?
I don't have one yet.
Okay. Do you want to share?
I will be speaking on 5 stages this year.
Perfect. Same thing.
Same thing.
What would it take for me
What
to
would it
speak on?
take?
What would it take for me to speak on 5 stages? I wonder how easy it could be for me to get invited onto 5 stages. And I'm telling you, that is like probably not big enough.
I can take more of that.
I'm just saying. Depending on what you use it for, right? Like depending on what you want to use it
Right.
for and what you want to use speaking for, because you all know that I'm like, speaking is like the thing. Like it's so magical, and it can just really transform your life and your business and all the things. So love it. Good. Love it. Yes. Oh.
I wonder how easy it would be to 10x my business.
Oh, fired up. Let's go.
I was thinking
Thursday.
2x. I'm like, no,
To 10x what?
We're going to
10x my business.
We're going to knock it out of the park. We're going to knock it out of the park. I'm so excited for you.
I'm Karen Zupa, founder of Complete Business Accounting. We're not your typical accounting firm. At Complete Business Accounting, we partner with you to make sense of your numbers so you can grow with confidence. From strategic bookkeeping to fractional CFO support, we provide the structure, insight, and clarity your business needs to thrive. You don't start a business to be worried about your finances. And with Complete Business Accounting, you won't have to be. Let's move your business forward. Visit cbaccounting.net to get started.
So we'll go back into this idea of manifesting. What questions do people have coming up, or what maybe like where they're like stumbling on or getting stuck in? Yes, Gina.
Do I need the microphone?
Yes, you do. Thank you for asking.
All right, here's my question.
Yes.
I suffer from depression
Okay.
a lot.
Okay.
How do you manifest when your brain just won't get there?
Okay. Clinical depression. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me ask you this. Okay.
Is there also something called situational depression?
I'm just wondering. Yeah. Do you want to play?
Sure.
Okay. Come up here for a second.
Oh boy.
So let me just ask you, are you okay being up here?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I think this is a great topic because I think that for a lot of folks, when we talk about manifesting, obviously energy is a huge thing. And so when we're in depression mode, very low, obviously low vibration, right? And so how do we get ourselves into those higher vibrations? So that I always tell people, like if you're going to a networking event or whatever the events are, right? If you're in a lower vibration, like I had to stop going to this one networking event because it was downtown. I love the group, but every time I would drive downtown, I'd be like, oh, and I was like, oh my gosh. And so then I had to stop because I was like, I couldn't like get myself there, right? I know that you've probably done a lot of things on yourself, okay? So I'm not here to replace anything that you've done or knowledge or anything like that. Will you just take your hand to your heart? And if there's any places that you're getting stuck in life, you can also do this. And everyone that's joining us online, you can do the same thing. But just put your hand on your heart. I want you to close your eyes. And actually, we're going to do this first. Go ahead and open your eyes for a second. And we're just going to tap along with me. We're going to just do a quick little energetic clearing here. This will take you out of self-sabotage. This is my little hack for getting out of self-sabotage, okay? So you're going to take these two fingers and put it right here on your K27. My microphone's going to and then rub there and then put your other finger in your belly button, which looks really weird. But I can unpack this little exercise in a little bit, but you're like, what is happening? And then switch. I want you to switch. So in your belly button, there's 100 million neurons in your belly button. And the K27 is our master tonic spot. And now we're going to tap right here, which is our governing vessel. Our governing vessel. Keep tapping. We're going to tap about 50. I don't want you counting it though. This is the yin and the yang. This is the yin, and this goes from the acupressure point is from here all the way back down our body. And then we will also tap.
Makes my nose itch.
If you're ticklish, make yourself go taunt like that. But some people are ticklish. And then tap right here, which is our central vessel. And this central vessel goes from here all the way down to our pelvic. And this kind of hooks up our whole body, which is a great exercise to clear the self-sabotage. So if I were to muscle test, most people in this room, 50% of you all, would be in self-sabotage. So it's a great way to clear before we ask this. Okay, so go ahead, close your eyes. And I want you to put your hand on your heart. And I want you just the feeling, and I'm going to have you ask this question. And this question, I want you just to, don't edit yourself. If you don't get anything, that's okay. So don't force it. But if you get an awareness, just share what your awareness is. So for just a context, I want you to think about the depression, okay? And I want you to say, just close your eyes and just ask this question. My body.
My body.
What is it?
What is it
that you're trying to tell me?
that you're trying to tell me
that I'm refusing to hear?
that I'm refusing to hear?
And do you get an awareness?
Not really.
Okay, we're going to ask it one more time. And I'm going to go under the magic coffee table. You guys have been here before. You guys know that there's like this magic
space under there.
Yeah, this magic it's like Bugs Bunny, his pockets.
Or Felix the cat had a bag.
PB Herman's magic coffee table. Okay, so go ahead and just ask that again. So close your eyes and just say, my body.
My body.
What is it
What is it
that you're trying to tell me
that you're trying to tell me
that I'm refusing to hear?
that I'm refusing to hear? I got nothing.
Okay. Does anything come up with you with anger?
I don't think so.
Like you feel like you do not have a right to have
No,
or any hopelessness?
little hopelessness, I'd
Okay.
say.
In what regards?
Gosh, I don't know. This is really challenging.
That's okay.
Just
You always have choice. So if you ever need to bounce, you can bounce. Okay.
Okay.
I want to honor you, and I want to honor the situation. Okay?
yeah, I don't know. I've had a lot of trauma and a lot of shit's happened in my life, and I'm trying to climb out of that
Yeah.
still. And it seems like I'm at the bottom of a
Yeah. So I'm going to invite you to do this at some point. This is some homework. Okay. I want you to go back through the trauma. Okay. And you've done a lot of work. Okay. I want you to rewrite that story that you can take out of it.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to share this, that once in my life, I got dealt a crappy deck of cards in my own life. And I kept playing that story over and over. And I kept going back there and trying to pull that stuff up here to try to make it make sense now. And it could never make sense. And so it wasn't until I had to rewrite that story. And so one of those big key pieces, it was a big honking thing. It was a big honking. I had to rewrite the story so that it could make sense for me today. And I'm trying to do this without going into much details. But once I rewrote the story, and now this person in my life, I can actually call this person for who he really was, and no longer the beast or the person I made him out to be. So I'm going to invite everyone to do this. If you want to do a timeline, look at the highs and your lows in your life. The highs, fantastic stuff. The lows were like, and then what were the lessons? Who did you discover about yourself? What did you have to go through in order? Because there's massive resilience in anyone that's gone through any trauma. Anyone who's ever experienced trauma, I just feel like you guys are angels, and myself included, are angels on earth. And I trust that, not that we've asked for that trauma to show up in our lives, but I trust in the bigger picture. And at least for what I can speak for myself is that had some of this trauma not experienced in my life, I would not be where I'm at today, and I would not be able to share some of the stories that has impacted my clients, the people that I serve. So I would invite you to play with that, okay, to rewrite that story. Do you have someone that you have that's a good support system that can be your guide to walk through that with you?
I can figure it out.
If not, I have some resources that I can connect you with that I would
Okay.
that to help you rewrite those stories, and then looking at the cellular level of how those are connected. Okay, so we'll play for just a little bit today
Okay.
with that piece of it, because I do think this is really key. The internal dialogue that we say is really the key of manifestation. Okay, are you okay? Okay, can I do anything for you?
No.
Okay. The internal dialogue that we have is absolutely key. So what is the stories that we tell ourselves? And going back to what we did in segment 1, where we talked about what are we convicted of? And here, I got some. You want to throw that? Oh, she got it. Okay. And so whatever those daily internal stories that are going on is actually what starts to create the internal belief systems, which the belief systems then run everything else. It's the unconscious that's coming and delivering itself in the conscious way, okay? So what if you were to play with in the next 3 days? Are you willing to play with, and everyone else that wants to play with this to really talk about manifestation? I want you to go in and play with stepping into what it would be like what do you want to speak life into? What do you want to create?
I want to create more money.
Okay. Okay. That's
And I want to go into it with an open mind and
Okay.
not know where it's coming from, because
Cool.
I keep making these plans and then they don't work out.
so I'm gonna.
I know you don't want me to say that.
No, I know. I think it's fantastic, actually.
Oh, okay.
Because I think so often we have been trained and ingrained to make a plan, and then it doesn't work out, right? And then what happens is, or I call them targets versus goals. What happens with goals is that we create this spot. I told you my magic. Gosh. Okay. So a goal. If we say that this is our goal, and we don't hit it. I had a client one time, she wanted to hit $1 million and she hit just under $900. So she didn't technically hit it. So it was like 990, whatever it was, right? And she could not celebrate that because she didn't hit it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You took your business from, it was like 575 to like almost $1 million. We're celebrating this, girl. Like, we're celebrating this. So a target, we could shift this into, here's my target. I always give like the Jack Canfield story because that's fun. It was having like him write my forward, right? And so that was my target. But in the moment, so I kept my possibilities open for all the things. And I connected with one of his staff members. I had an opportunity over here. I had another little opportunity over the year, right? So there was all this other yummy stuff that happened. So even if this didn't happen, I would have been I was so happy and content and so grateful for all the things that did happen, okay? So we're gonna reframe this and give it a target, okay? Number one, we're gonna rewrite the rules, okay? And so that way, when in this situation, okay, I hit here, okay, I'm still gonna celebrate that. To me, that's a win. You went from here to here, we're still celebrating that. So I think sometimes we get trapped in oh my gosh, the rigid, like the masculine energy of that didn't happen. So we're gonna celebrate those as still a win. Yeah.
Can I add something to what
Yes.
you're saying?
Yeah.
There's actually, and I'm telling you this like you wouldn't know, but there's actually a psychological thing that happens in particular in business. But if you acknowledge every single win that you have along the way, whatever it is, however big or small it is, it activates the brain to want to continue forward.
Yeah.
And because you're getting full of dopamine, right?
Yeah.
And you're getting happy and excited and, oh, I did it. And maybe the goal is $1 million and you're at $495. I don't know. But when I get to 600, when I hit 1,000, when I hit 2,000, if I celebrate each one of those wins, then I'm going to want to just keep going.
Yeah.
It's like the gas in your tank.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Thank you. Yes, celebrating all the wins. I think did you want to add something to that? Okay. But I agree. Thank you for sharing that because I think we've been so conditioned to be like only celebrating the big ones versus the little ones. One of the things that I do in the daily intentions planner is I celebrate every day of something and using gratitude, because the more that we can be in a place of gratitude, not that you're not, but the more that we can be in a place of gratitude, the more, I love the saying that Oprah says, the more you praise and celebrate your life, the more that there's in your life to celebrate, right? And I love that. So being in that place and space. Okay, so going back to, I'm gonna give you all this homework. The next 3 days, okay? The next 3 days, I'm gonna invite you to play full in.
Okay.
And being very mindful of the internal dialogue. And if we need to rewrite that, right? Because I know when I went through my really crappy experiences, I had to rewrite it so that it could serve me. And I'm going to unpack mine real quick so you guys can see that. If I hadn't been abused when I was a child, I wouldn't have probably connected to the profession of therapy. I was extraordinarily shy as a child. I had an experience, and then I was like, I'm going to become a cheerleader because obviously that's what you do, right, to overcome that. And then it was just like that, and then it was like this. And then I went through another experience where it was like, and now I understand that if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here today. And I wouldn't be able to share that. A few months ago, I shared this story. It was very vulnerable, but I was speaking at Metro State University, and I was doing my thing, and I was talking, and all of a sudden, this thing came out of my brain and into my esophagus, and I spoke these words out into the audience, and I'm like, where are these words coming from? I never talk about this. And I had shared this story that when I was younger, when I was in 8th grade, I tried to commit suicide. And I was like, where did those words from? And I came and I shared the story. And I was just like, I'd not talked about it before. I've not shared this before in the public arena. Anyways, afterwards, the students stayed and they hung out downstairs. And one of the students came to me and said, Teri, I was going to commit suicide tonight. But because you shared that, I'm not going to commit suicide. That is the gift of transforming the trauma and being able to share that. Now, I don't know, after that, we stayed in contact, and from there, like, he continued down his path, but it's one of those things that, like, we can transform that, and we don't have to feel shame or guilt or whatever that is that we've been holding on it, because it wasn't your fault. I guarantee you it wasn't your fault. I was a trauma therapist for decades. I guarantee you, I will promise you that it was not your fault. But holding on to it does not serve you anymore. So, will you want to play for a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. What comes up for you?
Oh, I'm about to cry right now.
It's okay. We can cry. I have tissues. I have fancy
Okay.
tissues, okay? I want you to tap right here. And anyone who wants to play along, set your intention for what it is for you. So, any and all places that is not allowing you to be fully in your power, what you are divinely guided to be in this planet, and what you're here to do, your gifts, your mad talent gifts. You were only given those talents. I was not. You were only given those, okay? So anywhere that's not allowing you to tap in, tune in, and turn on your infinite knowing, your infinite wisdom that says, my time is now. It's now. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, it is now. So any and all of those places, are you willing to revoke, recant, destroy, and uncreate all that? And if so, just say yes.
Yes.
Take a breath in and out. Right and wrong, good and bad, pocket pot, all day shorts, boys and beyonds. And then go tap at the top of your head and just say, even though I've been holding myself back by all these stories
by all these stories
that have not been serving me,
and
I cannot seem to get past it,
I cannot seem to get past it,
and all my evidence
and all my evidence
is supporting me
is supporting me
in not allowing me
in not allowing me
to create what I desire.
to create what I desire.
I choose to know
I choose to know
that chapter has to end.
that chapter has to
The
end.
book has to end.
book
The
has
whole
to
book.
end.
The whole dang book.
Throw it away.
Throw it away. No, and I will say, we're not going to throw it away. There's such richness in those stories. We're going to take and we're going to squeeze out all the juice from all those stories. And if you want to go back into your lifeline and take out all the lessons, right? Who to trust, who not to trust, and tap right here. All the life lessons. And then let's transform those into productive, really juicy things that you can use for today and now that can serve the people, right? And serve who you're supposed to serve. Whether it's 5 clients, 50 clients, 500 clients, 5 million clients, whoever, this is for you. Does that make sense? I keep getting distracted here. I'll come back to, just remind me what your homework is, okay? And then right here, tap right here. And then skip your ring finger and then go to your pinky right here. And then we're gonna go back here. And this is where it gets really weird right here between your ring and pinky finger right here.
Okay.
So now I want you to close your eyes. I want you to open your eyes. And I want you to look hard down left without moving your eyes. I'm sorry, moving your head. What am I saying? Hard down left without moving your eyes.
Head.
Just kidding. Hard down left without moving your head. And then hard down right without moving your head. And then eyes in a circle. Go to one direction and then go the other direction. And then keep tapping. And then hum 5 seconds of twinkle, twinkle. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And hum. Take a deep breath in. And out. What comes up for you? What comes up for you?
A little bit calmer now.
Cool.
I'd say. I don't know.
So here's what I'm going to invite you to do for your homework. And this is for the next 3 days. And I want you guys to text me, okay? Those that have my phone number, you're going to text me or email me. For the next 3 days, I want you to be hyper-focused on the internal dialogue. What are we saying to ourselves, okay? So we either use generative questions. What would it take for me to create this? How much better can it get? I like to use this question, and will someone write this down for Gina and then give this to her? So if negative thoughts come in, you're going to do interesting point of view, that I have this interesting point of view 3 times. And then we're going to ask what else is possible. So what happens is when we have these negative thoughts, and even if you just play with this tool, I had a client one time and this is all she did. Okay, this was the one tool she played with for 3 weeks, and it just transformed her life. And it stopped her being so negative on herself. So you use it for 4 things. Anytime you judge yourself, judge others, anytime of negative thoughts, or anytime that you jump to conclusions or outcomes, okay? That will also change the energy. So how it goes is I have these thoughts that come in, interesting point of view that I have this point of view, interesting point of view that I have this point of view, interesting point of view that I have this point of view. What it does is it cancels out those thoughts, okay? And then what I would strongly encourage you to do is ask the question, what else is possible, to start opening yourself back up again, okay? If your brain isn't trained to see the negative, it will only see the negative. So we're gonna start to switch this, and we're gonna do this today. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna gift you this. I'm gonna have you start playing with this, okay? You already just received something. We've already just shifted that story by saying, you know what? I am a master manifester. I can create and generate, okay? Afterwards, I'll teach you how to use this. This goes for the next 3 months. The next 3 months, I want you playing with this and looking at the internal dialogue that is happening so that we can start to create it. So in the internal dialogue is, is this contributing to me? Is this serving me? Is this serving to where I want to go? If it's not serving you to where you go, we're going to quickly retweak it. Interesting point of view that I have this point of view, interesting point of view that I have this point of view, interesting point of view that I have this point of view. And then we're going to ask what else is possible. And then we're going to start to find the evidence and create the miracles that it's going to happen otherwise. Does that make sense? The more you start to play with this, the more we start canceling this stuff out. And then we start speaking life into the more that we desire. Okay? So another one that you guys can write down for her is, this is really fun to do. So anytime I learn a tool, I do it in excess. And then it has to go through my 4-year-old brain, which means I just do it in excess to see the results, okay? So it goes like this. What contribution can I be and receive today? 3x. What contribution can I be and receive today? What contribution can I be and receive today? What contribution can I be and receive today? What happens with that is it starts to play with, actually I should just tell you, play with it, just notice. I did it 50 times one day because I'm like, I want to see the results. Started playing just with that tool and started playing with what was showing up. Then I started gifting and receiving, okay? There's a give and a receive, and it starts to become really expansive, okay? And so we can start to shift the story that says, nope, I'm here to do more. Nope. So when that other internal dialogue that says, no, nope, I'm gonna shift the story. I'm here to serve now, people, okay? You've gone through, just kidding. You've gone through the hard part. Now you deserve the easy part. You deserve the easy part now. Let's take that piece. Let's transform it. I'll gift you some folks that we can support you in transforming that piece. And then let's take you forward to the next piece, okay? Are you gonna play?
I am.
Promise?
Yeah,
Pinky promise? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it. Okay, how was this? How was this for you?
This was interesting. This was fun.
She's such a see. I'm not coming back again. Get the heck out of here.
I didn't say that.
I'm just kidding. Gina, you deserve to be seen. You have gifts. You were here to walk this walk. Not that you signed up for it, not that you asked for it. And girl, I get you because trust me, I get you. But it does not serve you if you keep playing that story and giving that power. Okay?
Okay.
And you get to recreate in the next book for you, what is that for you? And do not give them any more power.
Okay.
This is Gina time, okay? You were created to be a warrior. And now you're like, come on, let's go. Like the Superwoman here? Let's go. Let's go. Let's go have it easy for you now. You deserve that. And so now I want you to find the evidence. I'll stay back and I'm going to explain this so that you can start to find it. And even if it's just like the smallest things. And then we're going to start to help retrain your brain so that we can start to shift this. And it's going to be a little slow in the beginning, but the more that you do this, the more that you're committed to the new story, we can actually create this a lot faster. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, big hugs. Okay, I'm going to steal your microphone. Let's give her a round.
Friends don't let friends shop for health insurance alone, especially online with a bottle of wine. Skip the spammy calls, endless emails, confusing options. We've got you covered, literally. I'm Deb Salmons with Imagine Choice Customized Health Solutions. No more guesswork. We shop for best plans for you with lower rates the healthier you are. We personalize your plans with confidential information and it's hassle-free. Let us take the stress off your plate so you can focus on what matters most. Imagine choice, health insurance with a human touch.
So commit to the next 3 days and be very intentional with the internal dialogue that we're saying to ourselves. What are we saying? And then catch yourself, even if you need to print it, or even if you need to put a timer on your phone for every 30 minutes, every hour, whatever it is, catch yourself, look at, okay, is this taking me towards what I desire or is it not, right? And if it's not, reframe it, go, right? And then start to find the evidence, because your evidence you will find your evidence, okay? Even if it's small at first, once you start finding your evidence, it just becomes pretty amazing. It takes the same amount of energy as the spiral down as the spiral up. And so start to find evidence. So like you were saying earlier, Amy, like it's easy to find parking. If you guys want to just play with that, it's super easy. Just say, I trust that there's always parking for me. I trust that there's always, and this one time I was going, I was like, wait, and I was doubting my trust.
Yep.
A little bit. And then it was like right there. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like celebrity parking. Hello. That's because, go ahead.
When my grandmother passed, she gifted me her parking karma.
Oh, I love this.
She actually did that.
Now here's
she
the
said
thing
that.
is-
And
now-
I have forever told everybody that I have the front spot always. Even
Yes.
when you like there's no place anywhere. I'm like, honey,
Yes.
just go to the front, go to the front. He's like, no, there's no way. I'm like, just trust me, go. And there's always a spot. It's just
So-
amazing.
So what we can also do, everyone can get gifted Misha's mom's parking spot.
Grandma's,
Okay?
yeah.
Grandma's.
Touch me.
Gra-
I will share. You won't take it. It's okay.
There's more than an abundance of parking spots, but that can be our new story, right? Like of course, because I got Misha's grandma's parking spot. Like she gifted it to me. And the story, what will happen is that you start to embody it, create it, and then it starts to show up. And then it becomes really fun. And you can stay in that place of kid-like curiosity, be like, oh my gosh, here it is.
Yeah.
Love it.
And I wanted to share one thing. So I used to I had the habit of asking my daughter at the end of every day, what was the best part of your day? And so she started, and I think that's a really good thing for us all to do for ourselves.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, is just say, okay, what's the best part of your day? Because then you're going to start looking for evidence of great things in your day throughout the day so that you have something good to say at the end of the day when you're like, oh, this was a great part of my day. And it just elevates and elevates.
I love it.
I love that.
We always do the rose. Usually when we travel, we do the rose, which is this. So when we're in the car usually, or it could be in the plane, whatever, like after an event, a weekend or whatever, it could be a special day or something. And my daughter is really resistant to it, but because everyone loves it so much, then she's fine, I'll play along. So if you have teenagers, it works for as well. So the rose is, the flower is the best part of the day or the event. And everyone goes around and says what their best part was. Then the thorns are what they disliked or what they didn't care for. And then the seed is what you learned. And then I added the sunshine, which is what you're grateful for. And so we go around and it's fun. It's a fun little way to wrap things up and put like a little closure to it. So fun. We'll have an opportunity today to do the rose. I'm just kidding. All right. Okay. Any other questions or comments about using manifestation? Because I could go into a million different topics about this, because I do think back in the day, and it was funny because I was cleaning out my magical coffee table today and I found something and I was like, oh, this applies. I used to be so good at manufactured manifesting. Do you guys know what that is? Where you manufacture it? And it's not sustainable, okay? It's not necessarily the way that I would recommend anyone doing. I'm going to give you an example of a manufactured manifestation. I was at the Avs game one time and my friend goes, Teri, you're always so magical. You could probably get up on the Megatron. And I was like, yeah, I could, for sure. And so then I was like, yeah, I totally could. I could do this. I could get on the Megatron, right? So then I quickly looked for the cameraman right there. So then they started betting. So then what happened was they put a bet on it. I bet you can blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, there's a bet now. I'll make sure this happens, right? So I quickly looked, there's the cameraman, and I went up to him, I'm like, hey, I'm sitting down here, got a bet that I can get on the Megatron. I'll split the money with you if you make it happen. And he's, I'm on. He was so into it. I'll pass the picture around. But that is me on the Megatron. I do not know what the heck I thought about wearing my hair like that. Don't judge it. I'm like, I wore my hair like that? No, forget it. Like, what? What?
Is your hair that color?
Oh my, what? Anywho, so that is an example of a manufactured manifestation. It is not sustainable, okay? It is not sustainable. Now, there are things that you can do to help with manifestation, like action, right? But the surrendered manifestation really starts to support like you putting it out there, allowing God, spirit, angels to deliver on it and bring it back to you. Does that make sense? Yeah. Just because I was sharing it earlier, like having Jack Canfield write the foreword. So I did all the things, and that's a long story. But then when I went to go ship it, I blessed and released it and be like, okay, it's in your hands, right? And so I had to bless and release the outcome of it. And so I'm like, okay, whatever's meant to be will meant to be. And that is a surrendered. And then it showed up and it's, oh, thank you. Let's take care of that. I'll take more of that. So those are kind of the difference between that, because the manufactured, you can definitely pay someone off for those things. Does work. But truly surrendered, it is sustainable, and then it becomes really fun and playful. But sometimes we think we create a certain timeline on when things have to happen. And so when we start to realize, okay, there are things on my vision boards from 10 years ago that have not come to fruition. And I know that they probably won't come to fruition until maybe in a couple more years. And it's always fun because I laminate my vision boards. And I was pulling them out for an event that I was going to a couple weeks ago. And I was like, which one am I going to pick and use as an example? And I was like, oh my goodness. Going back and looking at like all the things that had occurred that I just put it out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. And I was like, wow, this is exciting. This is fun. Anyone want to share about some fun things that you've done with manifestation? Or what's your favorite tip or tool for using manifestation? Yes.
I manifested my house that I moved into last year.
Love it.
I'd been to a couple transformation workshops where we actually drew something, draw what your life is like in 5 years, and I drew the exact house that I ended up moving into with the roof deck and everything. So
that's because, do you want to know why that is?
Why?
That's because you're a master manifester. Yeah. This is your evidence that you can create this, right? So if you need to rob that experience and then bring it back, and now think about the excitement that when it's like, ah, tap back in that. Tap back into that, because that is your truth. That is massive evidence. Do you see?
It was a very messy manifestation, though.
That's okay. Sometimes they're not so pretty. Okay, like sometimes you're like, what? Okay.
The people we bought it from were terrible. The people we sold to were terrible. It was just an all-around bad experience. But I got the house.
And so maybe looking past, like, okay, what were the life lessons? Life lesson number 922. What was the lessons that came out of that? And I always think about when things are clunky or when things are like, okay, what's the message? What's the learning from that? How was I showing up? Was there a contribution? What was that piece of it? So cool. But it still worked out. It still worked out. There's a saying that I will say oftentimes when I'm not really sure, if I'm really nervous about. So when we start expanding, we'll hit like upper limits. And the upper limits means like a little bit of self-sabotage coming in big. No, you need to play small. I felt it today. When I was doing my polar plunge out in the, I do it before we do this. And I was putting my feet in, I don't know, it's probably 15-degree like river water out there. And anywho, I was getting nervous and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I ended up going in and I was tapping into my higher self and talking about what was going on. And it was like this expansion piece. And I was like, oh, okay, I got you. Okay, thank you. I had some anxiety, but it was like this upper limit where it was like coming back in and being like, okay, we're busting through this, right? We're going through this. So just because when we are being intentional with what we're creating, and it doesn't mean that anxiety is not going to come up. It's going to happen, and just understanding it. So then it gave me meaning to it. So when we are playing at those levels, understanding and recognizing that those are coming up and just having that conversation and say, okay, I call her Revi. And so when Revi shows up, I say, hey, Revi, I thank you for showing up. I appreciate you. I see you. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. I got it. Thank you. So what I was going to say is when I go into those situations, the saying that I will say, I usually use an F-bomb in there, okay? But I'm gonna keep it clean so I don't have to edit it, so my team doesn't have to edit this out later, is I say, how can I F this up totally and still succeed with total ease? So how can I screw this up completely and still succeed with total ease? So then it takes the pressure off of having it all perfect, done right. And then it's okay. So then I go in there and I'm like, all right. I was at an event, oh my goodness, at the beginning of last year. And I was being funny and somebody was doing like this like picture and I was like, let me be funny and I'm gonna go photobomb it. I realized that they weren't doing a photo, they were doing a video. So as I jump up into the thing, thinking it's gonna take a picture, right? And I go, oh my gosh, it's a video. So then I was like, oh my gosh, that's embarrassing. That's weird. And I'm like, what do I do? So then I was like, Tigger, and I was like, better make it committed then. So then I jump back up to be like, I'm committed. And then, so I had like Tigger, and I'm like, I gotta get out of this because I didn't realize what that was. But there was an O-ring light, and the cord was brought taut. Oh, and I tried to sketch out of it real ninja. And the whole thing, just like the phone goes flying, it goes into 4 pieces. It doesn't break, but they expand out and they explode. I somehow do not miss anything. I do not injure myself at all. But I yard sell it out. Oh my gosh, laughing so hard, okay? And I'm just like, it was beyond. But I wouldn't have met this one lady had it not happened. And then this other guy goes, clearly, we are never going to forget you. And I'm like, thank you. This is how I don't get invited back to things. This is how it happens. My husband's like, how are you not invited back? I'm like, things like this happen. But it was so embarrassing. But it just opened up these really great conversations afterwards. And I'm talking months and months later. They're like, oh, yeah. I was like, yeah.
I remember you.
And I went like TikTok famous on it. Like, I'm just saying, who's Tigger? That's me, AKA Tigger. Anyways, yes. Okay, I'm gonna invite us to play with these tools today. Anyone else that wants to share like some really fun like tools or nuggets that you've used over the time? What do you use?
Me?
Yeah.
My energetic frequency.
The best. So say more about that because I think that's really important. We mentioned it a little bit.
My energetic frequency. So we're all like little radio stations or big radio stations sending out a lot of energy.
Am I a big radio station?
Sometimes you broadcast real big.
Oh,
I love it though.
I'm 100% fake Italian.
But I love tuning in. I'm here.
I'm 100% fake Italian. That's why this happens.
I dig it. It's great. I'm all for it. You got me here today. Energetic frequency stations. So we're all energetic beings emitting energy. And if you think about what you want to manifest, what does that align to? Manifestation is my jam.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why we connected.
Yeah.
And so when you want to actually manifest something in your life, you think about what it's like, what it would feel like, and so you try to get to that feeling.
Yeah.
So trying to harness your energetic frequency. And one of the things that I've realized is what's stopping it could be frustration.
Yeah.
Or anger, you're not there yet.
Yeah.
I have to realize that consciously. Like that my energy is, I'm not there yet. But realize there is divine timing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And trust that divine timing.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Trust in the divine timing. Anyone else want to share? That's a great, I thank you we mentioned that a little bit earlier, but we didn't really go into the details of that. So thank you. Yes.
We should name the radio station.
Oh, yeah, let's do.
Yeah.
And I always say like, it's like this.
Talking Terrier.
Oh, earlier.
Laugh, Tigger. I'm
I
a former ticker too.
I took her too. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I love this. Adding to what you just said is like tuning into and harnessing your frequency, but then you become like this human magnet, and it's just like that, right? And you start to attract into those people, those places, the opportunities, and it becomes like really effortless. And then you're letting go of the control of it. You're letting go of like how it's supposed to happen, because I think as women, strong, power, dynamic women, I think we want to control it because that's what we've been trained and ingrained to do, right? And so instead of letting go of it and be like, okay, I'm just going to stay curious, as I wonder how this is going to show up for me, and then just stay curious to it. So when it does show up, it's thank you, I'll take more of this, right? And it just becomes like this really expansive place to play in.
I had this picture of Australia, the opera house, on my vision board a couple years ago, and never really, I have attention, but didn't really focus on it too much. My mother said, "Do you want to go on our Australian cruise?" And I'm like, "Wait, you want my husband and I to go with you and Dad on your anniversary Australian cruise? Why? In other words, why wouldn't you want to go by yourselves and stuff?" So I was almost denying it.
Oh,
But when I accepted it, I went, "Wow, this is so cool." It was already paid for. It was already set up. And they said, "We just need you to say yes." And so we did. And I have so many check marks on my vision boards, like you said, laminated. That would be great. But just that it came true.
Yeah. Is that you?
I had it off.
We're just gonna wait. Just kidding.
That was bad.
I'm just kidding. We're just. I'm just kidding. Yes.
Turn it back on.
And that becomes when it becomes really fun to start to play with, just being in a receptive mode and receiving it. And because I think oftentimes we will block it or question it instead of just saying thank you. I'll take more of that.
When you say thank you, like you say all the time, "I'll take more of that," it really sets it up for more of that. Have you ever thought about the algorithms on our phones? You're talking to a friend or something, and all of a sudden it shows up in a post, and you're like, "Okay, they're listening. They really are."
Oh, for sure.
But the universe is, and it's showing you.
That's
Yeah.
a great comparison.
As I like it.
Think about
And
that.
then like even if there's a tweaking process, so even if something shows up and it's like I always say it's over here, so it's not aligned yet, okay? But when it shows up, you're like, oh, thank you. Okay, now I have contrast. We could have a whole conversation about contrast. So now it's being shown contrast, and so you say, oh, thank you. Now I go back and I tweak it again, okay? And now I have clarity. Because it's like, ooh, I like that, don't like that. Okay, and then I rephrase it. And then the next time it's like, oh, I said, ooh, okay, we're almost there. It's showing me contrast, what I do, what I don't. And then once I have that clarity, it's so when we see things showing up for us, it's not necessarily, again, it's showing us the contrast. And if we can just say, oh, there's the contrast. I like this, I don't like this. It's helping me with clarity. That clarity is allowing me to be in alignment. And there you go. Love it.
Yeah. And I was going to say, if you're feeling depression or things aren't going your way and you're just getting knocked off your horse, you're like, ugh. I've been really focusing lately on just remembering that it's all divine timing.
Totally.
And
I wrote that down in my book today.
Oh, there you go.
Divine timing, yes.
Yeah, because the shit that happens to us makes us stronger because it didn't kill us, so it made us stronger. And it doesn't feel good a lot of times, but you just have to be like grateful and thankful and just remember, I don't get why, but thank you. It's divine timing.
Sometimes I called that my warrior phase. I had to go through my warrior phase because I was in some places in my life, I was sensitive to like certain things or certain feedback or certain things. And then I was like, okay, so I had these really powerful dynamic experiences that I wouldn't wish on anybody else. But then it gave me what I needed to go into the next phase. And I just saw that playing out not too long ago, like about 6 months ago. And I was like, so then I was like, oh, there it is. This came up. And then I was able to stand in my power even when this came up. Right? And it didn't take away my power anymore because prior it took away my power. I had these experiences that made me warrior up. And then I went back into it and I was like, yes. And so then the situation happened and I called my friend. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's thinking it's bad and negative and wrong. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so great. And he's like, wait, what? And I'm like, I stood in my power. I didn't let this guy bully me. And he was like, but it was just great. Perfect. You were going to say something?
Yeah. One of the things that I realize is some of the things that we want, we actually deserve better. And I've found that in life, that you could want something so much and it pops up something different. Or when you think to yourselves that you should be somewhere else in this exact moment, but you really are where you're supposed to be. And so it can make you stronger. And the lessons that you were saying earlier about how hard things can be.
Yeah.
And it's meant to happen. Like, I know
Yeah.
everything that I've have gone through is because I'm here. And what are you going to do with reality but make it now?
And I will tell everyone in this room, you've had 100% certainty that you've made it through tough things. Like, you've made it through, right? I have a little fun little project that I wanted to end up with tonight or today. So I want you to take one of these and one of these. And for those that are online, you are welcome just to grab out a piece of paper and you can follow along with us.
Oh, go ahead. I don't want to go over the front of the camera.
Oh, look at you. Like, that was like Spider-Woman talent.
I'm tall. Got these boots on.
So I want you to write down a message that you would have liked to have heard when you were going through a really tough time in your life. Don't write your name on it, okay? They're obviously not very big, but just put a little message of what you needed to hear, what you wanted to hear. You got this. You got it, girl. Hold on, whatever it is, trust, faith, like whatever that is, just write down a message that you would like to have heard when you were going through a difficult time. And do a little cheerleading message to yourself, and everyone online can also do the same thing. I'll wait till everyone's done. And then I want you to pass it to your right. I want you to switch with the person behind you. And then we're gonna switch. There's your little love note. You can open it now. Yeah. I hope it resonates, because that was like, there was a lot of mathing. I was like, is this gonna work? All right, so everyone at home, just write yourself a little love note. And then when you're finding those times when you're going through those, quote, warrior moments, pull that card out, send yourself a little love. And then I'm going to do another little gift to everyone. I want to pay this forward. So this is one of my little ninja tricks that I do. And so these are called Your Awesome cards. They're blank. But when you go and have a really great meal and the waitress or waiter was fantastic, write them a little love note, leave it before you go. And then I just want everyone to take one and then just go make a little miracle happen for somebody else today. What is this? Oh.
Pass it on project.
Oh, I love it.
You
I love
leave
it.
inspirational notes or quotes around the world. It's global.
Oh, do I open it then or no?
If you want to.
But then do I just pass it on?
Just open it.
Okay.
Or you can do it at home, whatever you want to do. This is your note.
Is this, okay.
You can take more than one, right, Teri?
Yes.
Ooh, okay, one more.
So what, okay. Ooh.
So usually I leave this for people to find and all over the world. Like people are doing like arts, they leave places or things.
Oh, I love it.
What is that?
To believe the power of the human mind is truly powerful. I love
So
this.
now you can leave that anywhere you want.
I love it. Pass it forward and create a little miracle for somebody. And I will tell you, like, these, and I do these anonymous. I'll just put like a little smiley face. I just see you or whatever. And then I'll give them and go so they don't like, hey, lady. I did one lady, I was running out. She's like, you forgot your business card or you forgot your credit card. I'm like, it's not my credit card. Oh my heavens, was that not juicy or what? Oh my goodness, so many tools that we took away from today. So as we wrap up, remember this. Our energy is not random. It's being shaped every single day by our thoughts, habits, and the internal dialogue that we have with ourselves every single day. So be mindful of where you're putting your energy and your attention, because where attention goes is where energy flows. All right, if you live in or are traveling to Colorado and you would like to be a part of the live studio experience with all the fun things that are happening behind the scenes, I'm going to invite you to reach out, connect, grab your seats, invite some girlfriends. Thank you so much for being on the Entrepreneurial Girlfriend Hour, and thank you so much for being a part of the Entrepreneurial Girlfriend Hour. And as always, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be the magic of you. Massive love, and we'll see you on the next episode.